Let us move on with our class. So nyinyi umechukua muda kujoin. So you are supposed to join at 7:30. Na mkujoin bana. Okay. Statement. So bank reconciliation statement. That is our focus today. And they realize that people don't join class. What are we doing? Because kuna videos. I will need to have some. I will change the mode of uploading the videos. I can upload every video now because I have noticed watu wakuje darasa because kuna videos, so I think I will stop uploading them. So that you guys join the class. So our topic today is bank reconciliation statement. So be advised that no video will be uploaded. So that you join the class. So you be advised that you should not be uploading the videos so that you people will be joining the class. So bank reconciliation. Topic is FA. Still topic 4. So bank reconciliation statement. Bank reconciliation statement. So what is this? What is bank reconciliation statement? And why do we need to talk about it? Now, we can say that because of the following reasons. So what are those reasons where we might have differences between bank and cash? So what are some of the reasons where we might have difference between cash and bank statement? So remember, at the end of the day, the cash, the information about the cash or the cash book, they call it the cash book, and the bank statement must always reconcile. So the cash and the bank statement must always reconcile. But in some cases, you find that the cash and bank statement do not reconcile. They have some differences. Now, what do you think might arise? What do you think might the cause of the differences? So difference between the cash and bank statement may arise because of the following reason. So number one, we can talk about the errors. So number one, talk about errors. Number one, errors usually in the cash book. That's number one. You might find that the person preparing the cash book might make some error in the cash book. Number two, omissions. Omissions. Omissions such as bank charges, in the cash book. In the cash book. And then number three, timing difference. Timing differences. I.e., we can talk about the unpresented checks. Unpresented checks or the and the recredited checks and uncredited checks. So those are some of the reasons why the bank and the cash book statement might not reconcile. So those are some of the reasons why the cash book and the bank statement might not reconcile. Now, at the end of the particular period, mostly in a month, the balance of the cash book should be extracted, and in many instances, the cash at the bank balance, the cash book does not agree with the bank statement over the same period, though theoretically it should. So that is what we are trying to say. So theoretically, the cash book and the bank statement should always reconcile. So should always reconcile. So should always reconcile. So at the end, you can also write it down. We can also write it down. Let me write it for you. At the end of a particular period, mostly 1 month. So we are saying at the end of a particular period, mostly a month, mostly 1 month. So at the end of a particular period, mostly a month, the balances of the cash book, the balances of cash book, the balances of cash book does not agree with the bank statement. Does not agree with the bank statement. So in most cases, when preparing the statements, those two statements, when preparing the bank statement and also when preparing the cash book, it is possible to find that the balances of those two items are not agreeing. So at the end of a particular period, the balances of the cash book does not agree with the bank statement over the same period. Over the same period. over the same period. But theoretically, they should agree. So in most situations, you find that the cash book and the bank statement are not agreeing. But when we come to when we look at it on a theoretical scenario, it should agree. So theoretically, the balances of the bank statement and the balances of the cash book must always agree. But in most of the situation, when preparing this statement, and mostly we do it on a monthly basis. So bank, the reconciliation must be done on a monthly basis, so as to determine what are some of the items that might not make our cash book in the bank statement not to agree, so that we correct them. And then so you can say that this is a normal occurrence. This is a normal occurrence. And the two statements need to be reconciled. So this is a normal occurrence. This is a normal occurrence, and the two statements needs to be reconciled so that the material error can be identified. So that the material errors can be identified. The materials errors can be identified. So this need to be reconciled as soon as possible, within a month, so that the material error can be identified as early as possible. As early as possible. As early as possible. Let us repeat some of the causes of disagreement. Let us repeat causes of disagreement. Causes of disagreement. Causes of disagreement. Wewe mwenye ameingia na jamii tafadhali na kuomba. Na can you see my board? Kuna watu wanasema ati they cannot see my board totally. It is not visible. Is that true? Is that true? Brenda, mute tafadhali. So what are some of the causes of disagreement? So siko nimeweka spotlight, notice. Let me put the spotlight for everyone so that mtu akijoin the board haitatoka. Sawa sawa. So let's see some of the causes of disagreement. Number one, items that appear on the cash book but not on the bank statement. So number one, items that appears on cash book and not on the bank statement. So items that appear on the cash book and not in the bank statement. So we might find that some items are there. Have been recorded in the bank statement, but some item we find that some items appears on the cash book, but the same information is not on the bank reconciliation. So you need to correct them. So kama inaappear hapa na inaappear hapa, so you need to correct them so that they also appear in the bank statement. Number two, item that appears on the bank statement but not on the cash book. Items that appears on bank statement items that appear on bank statement. So unapata kuna items ziko kwa bank statement but haziko on the cash book and not on the cash book. So you also need to correct them. How do you correct them? You make sure if they are missing on the cash book, so you correct them by making sure they appear on the cash book. Number three, we can talk about errors when entering the amount on the cash book. Errors when entering the amount on cash book. I.e., you are supposed to insert, for example, i.e., you are supposed to insert 134, you are supposed to insert 143. So kaeka 134 instead of 143. So you are supposed to put 143, but naweke 143 kuweka 134. So kuna some error. So that's another kind of an error you might find. Number 4, which is the last one. Errors by the bank. While posting the transaction. Errors by the bank. While posting the transactions. So the bank might also make some errors. But for bank, it is very rare. So for bank, it is very rare. Though you can find some errors within the bank, but it is a rare occurrence. So in most cases, it is a rare occurrence. It is a very rare occurrence to find a bank making errors. So it is a rare occurrence to find the bank making errors. In most cases, to find most of the errors are in the cash book. So the one which the accountant is preparing for the business. But the other way I'm saying it is very hard for the bank to make an error because most of the bank statements are automated. So it is the machine that generates the statements. So it is very rare for a machine to ignore about a transaction. So it is very rare for the machine to ignore any transaction made. But because cash book is prepared manually by the accountant, so the manual entry of information might be, so the accountant might omit some item, knowingly or not knowingly. It can be intentional or not intentional. But at the end of the day, the items of the cash book must balance with the item of the bank statement, because in most cases they are using the bank to pay. So the institution is using what? The bank to pay. Okay, I think that one is okay. We can try and come up with a format. Now let's define what is a bank reconciliation first, so that we can move on. So that's how I define what is a bank reconciliation with that information. Bank reconciliation, and we say it is a statement which explains. So we say it is a statement. Is a statement which explains. It is a statement which explains the differences between the banks at the bank, the differences between balances at the bank. So it is a statement which explains the differences between balances at the bank as per cash book, and balances at bank, and balances at bank as per bank statement, as per bank statement. Bank statements, per bank statements. Functions, functions of bank statement, function of
the whiskey.
let us continue. So tunasema functions. So number one, to update the cash book. So number one, to update cash book. To update cash book. So one of the functions of the bank reconciliation is to update the cash book with transactions that have gone through the bank. With transactions, that have gone through the bank. That's the main one of the main function of a cash book. So the main function of a cash book is to update. So it's to update the cash book with the transactions that have gone through the bank. Number two, to check and correct any error in the cash book. To check and correct any error in the cash book. To check and correct any errors in the cash book. So to check and correct any error in the cash book. And then to detect and prevent any form of fraud. To detect to detect and prevent any form of fraud. Those are some of the functions of the bank reconciliation: to detect and prevent any form of fraud that relate to cash book, and bank transaction, that relates to cash book, and the bank transaction, and bank transactions, and bank transaction. So those are some of the functions of the bank reconciliation. So those are some of the functions of the bank reconciliation statement that you might find in any examination. You might find in any of the examination. So, typically, when we talk about bank reconciliation, we are trying to say that bank reconciliation is that statement that try to explain what are some of the differences when it comes to the balances in the bank, in the cash book, and the balances in the bank statements. The balances in the cash book and the balances in the bank statement. We can also try and look at some of the importance of preparing bank reconciliation. Importance of preparing bank reconciliation. So, importance of preparing bank reconciliation. So, importance of preparing bank reconciliation. Peni yangu nimetupa wapi jamani? So we are saying importance of preparing bank reconciliation statements. So, importance of preparing the bank reconciliation statements. So, what do you think are some of the importance of preparing the bank reconciliation statements? What do you think are some of the importance of preparing this reconciliation statements? So, what are some of the importance? Let us think. Number one, let us talk about number one, talk about internal control system. Internal control system. Internal control systems. Internal control system, and we say. So, what's the importance? It enhances. It enhances the internal control system of organization. Control system of business entity. That's number one. That is number one. It enhances the internal control system of organization. It enhances the internal control system of organization. That is number one. Number two, another importance is updated cash book. Updated cash book. Now, what can you say about updated cash book? So it helps update cash book by incorporating items that appears on bank statement and not on the cash book. Number three, ama namba tatu ukipenda, nitaandika pia hapo tatu. Detection of fraud activities. Another importance is detection of fraud activities. Detection of fraud activities. Detection of fraud activities. We don't need to explain that one. That one is self-explanatory. The detection of fraud activities. That one is explanatory. So we don't need to explain that one. And then the last one is a management tool. It 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 is a management tool, and we can say so the management use this information, the management use this statement to confirm that balances per cash book, that balances as per cash book, agrees with the balances, agrees with balances as per bank statement. As per bank statements. As per bank statements. Then you can say if the statement do not agree, does not agree, investigation can be launched. Investigation can be launched. So where in the case where the items are not balancing, then investigation can be launched. Those are some of the reason why, or the importance of those statements. Now I think we can move on. Aha, nice. So tuko mbali bado, theory iko mbali. So theory bado ni mingi. Let's talk about items that appears on the cash book and not on the bank statement. Items that appear on the cash book and not on the bank statement. Items that appear on the cash book. Items that appears on cash book and not. So items that appears on cash book and not on bank statement. Hizi zinakuanga let us try to find them. Let us try and find the number one. Let us talk about uncredited amount. Uncredited amount. Uncredited amount. We can also call them we just call them there or uncredited checks, stroke uncredited checks. Stroke uncredited checks, stroke uncredited checks. Okay. I think that on the to me and also badai. We have the unpresented check. Your time. Unpresented check. You explain them with a question. Then let's go to item appearing on the bank statement. Items appearing on bank statement. Bank statement and not in the cash book. And not in cash book. And not in cash book. And not in cash book. So you can talk number one, direct credits. Direct credits. Just a moment. Uniruhusu kidogo tu. Just a moment. So let's name them. Number one, talk about the direct credits. Direct credits, as we say. So this is when the customer. This is when a customer. This is when a customer deposits either cash or check. This is when a customer deposits cash or check directly to the bank. Directly to the bank account. Directly to the bank account without informing the business. Without informing the business. Without informing the business. Now, in this situation, this item will appear in the bank statement, but it not appear on the cash book. Reason why? Because there was no any information regarding the check to the business. Now, in some cases, you might find maybe the accountant does not have the bank statement. You might find the accountant maybe anapatanga the bank statement later. So in that situation, we might find that this information, yes, it is recorded in the bank account, but this information misses in the cash book. We call them the direct credit. We have the bank charges. We have the bank charges. Now, when the bank debits decreases, so when the bank's debits, debit inamaanisha decreases. Decreases. The bank debit the account of the business. When the bank debit the account of business. So when the account debit the account of business with the charges. With the charges. Those charges, for example, checkbook charges. So wanakata kwa bank. Checkbook charges. Checkbook charges. So hii charges unanga imekata kwa bank statement. So ukifungua hii bank statement unaweza onanga some information. Items zilikuwa zinakatwa na bank. So those charges unapata labda kuna ledger fee. Ledger fees. Commission on electronic transfer. Commission on electronic fund transfer. Electronic fund transfer. Both incoming and outgoing. Both incoming and outgoing. Now remember this information when the bank charges the use of that account by deducting some amount. For example, I deduct the bank charges, or we have some other charges which might appear. We have the charges for maintaining the account. So when those charges are deducted, so those charges will appear on the bank statement and they will not appear in the cash book. And therefore, it is the work of the accountant to do what? To make sure that also those charges will appear on the cash book so that the amount balances. Number 3, direct debits. Direct debits. So this occurs. So when the bank pays, so is it when the bank pays we can call them standing orders. So when the bank honors a standing order, so we usually call them standing orders. This is a situation where the bank is paying. This is a situation where the bank is paying. So when the bank pays or when the bank honors the standing order, that's what we mean. Or comma, they can also deduct a loan. Deduct a loan payment from the account. From the account. Etc. etc. So when we have any form of payment or any form of deduction, those we call them direct debit. So those information will appear in the bank statement, but it might miss on the cash book, and therefore there is need for correcting them. So if it misses on the cash book, they need to transfer them. Interest income. So when the bank credits, so because the word credits means increases. This one means it increases. So when the bank increases the amount of interest earned by the account, the amount of interest earned by the account. Now you might find that there's some income. That the bank itself has credit to the bank, to your bank. So that information appears to your bank, but that amount is not appearing in your cash book. Then now that's why it's dishonored check. Dishonored check. Now you might find that there was a check that was deposited in the bank, but that check was dishonored, meaning it was rejected. Now, if it was rejected, you might find that this rejection only appears in the bank statement because the bank is the one which rejects the check, because maybe haina pesa. So you might find that there was a check that was deposited in the bank, but that check did not have enough money to pay that account. So in that situation, the bank will dishonor that check. So once the information is dishonored, will appear in the bank statement. Now it is the work of the accountant to make sure that that information also appear in the cash book. Number 6, and the last one. Songa vizuri. So the last item, then we come up with a format. Let us say the last item, then we come up with a format. So allow me to rub. Then we do one question or two questions if possible. We can try to do one or two questions if possible. So allow me to rub the upper part. But naona tunasonga vizuri. Any complaint? Okay, let us write this down. So we say the following item will now be shown under the bank reconciliation. The following items will now be shown. Will now be shown the following item will now be shown under the bank reconciliation statement, under the bank reconciliation statement. Number A, talk about unpresented check. Number 2, talk of uncredited checks. Number three, talk about errors in the bank statement. Errors in bank statement. Number D, and the last one, the updated cash book balance. The updated cash book balance. Formats. I think now we can move to formats. I think it will be okay. I think we can go to formats. Format. Where is that? There's something that tafuta. Kwa wapi? Where is it? Yes, nimeipata. So I think we can try and look at it. So formats. So rather than the first one, updated cash book. Updated cash book. Updated cash book. As at XXX period. Yeah. So we start with the balance brought down, the cash book, balance brought down. You can have bank charges on this side. Bank charges. You can also have some other items. You can talk about direct credits. Direct credits. We can talk about dishonesty check. We can talk about dishonesty check. We can talk about the standing orders. Standing orders. Hizi zimetosha, si lazima tuandike mingi, hizo zingine tutajukia mbele. Bank charges and then balance carried down. Just an example. That's an example of an updated cash book. That's an example of an updated cash book. So updated cash book itakuwa inakaa hivyo. Then we can also come up with a bank reconciliation statement. Bank reconciliation statement. So we say bank reconciliation statement as that XXX. So as that XXX. So we can start tunaweza amua kuanza na whichever way, but I prefer you start with the balance as per cash book. Balance as per cash book. As per cash book. Unaweka hapo. Balance as per cash book. Then you add unpresented check. Unpresented check. Then you less. Then you less uncredited check. Then you less uncredited checks. Then you shall get the balance as per the bank statement. As per bank statement. So read for us, someone to read for us this question for tutafanya swali mbili. One of the question question number 1B. August 2023, question number 1B. August 2023. August 2023, question number 1B. August 2023, question number 1B. Sasa tusomee hiyo swali. Tuanze na hiyo. Who read for us that question? Nani tusomee swali? Linda. Linda. Linda.
Question.
Question number August 2023. Question number 2A. Number 1B, sorry. August 2023, question number 1B. August 2023, question number 1B. August 2023, question number 1B. The question is about the bank statement of Maji Marefu. It's about the bank statement of Maji Marefu. Ama mwenye amepata tusome. To save time, Jamini.
The bank statement of January enterprises over that June 2023 showed an overdraft of shillings 2,224,000, while the bank balance as per the cash book showed the credit balance of 1,108,000. The following extract from the cash book of Maji Enterprises of the month of June 2023 was provided. Received during the month is 2,938. Balance at that June 2023 was 1,108. Balance at 1st June 2023 was 1,522. Payments during the month is 2,524. Upon investigation, the following matters were discovered. A check received for shillings 160,000 had been returned unpaid. No adjustment had been made in the cash book. During the month of June 2023, the dividends amounting to shillings 124,000 were credited directly into the bank account, but no entries had been made in the cash book. A check drawn for shillings 12,000 had been incorrectly entered in the cash book as shillings 192,000. The balance brought forward as per the above cash book was overstated by shillings 100,000. Bank charges amounting to 272,000 appeared in the bank statement only. Checks drawn amounting to 554,000 had not been presented in the bank of payment. Checks received totaling to 1,524,000 had been entered in the cash book and deposited in the bank when were not credited until 5 July 2023. A check for shillings 54,000 had been entered as a receipt in the cash book instead of a payment. A check of shillings 50,000 had been erroneously debited by the bank into Majimarefu's account. Required. The adjustment cash book balance is dated June 2023. Bank reconciliation statement is dated June 2023.
Harugusikii.
Mwalimu amepiga.
Yeah.
Now let's go back to our question. Now to consolidate part you, we have an extract. If you can see it clearly, we have an extract. That extract, the balance is on the credit side. What does it tell you when the balance is on credit side? Is it what does it mean? What does it mean when your balance the cash book in your kwa swali, the balance at the beginning is on the left side, on the credit side. What does it tell you? What does it tell you? Rafael, what does it tell you? Rafael, what does it tell you?
Pardon.
Nasema if you read the question pale juu kwa cash book, wametuambia the balance from the cash book is the balance at the beginning is on the credit side. What does it mean? So remember our balance in a cash book tukianza, in most cases our balance inafaa kuwa on the right side. But in this case wametuambia the balance of the cash book is on the left side. What does it mean? So it means it's an overdraft, meaning kampuni wako na deni. Now it is not a cash, but now it's an overdraft. Ni kama fuliza. Tuko sawa? Tuko sawa hapo? So ukiona the balance iko on the credit side, that means it's a form of fuliza. So it's an overdraft. Tuko sawa? Tuko sawa hadi hapo? Vile nimesema hivyo?
Yes.
Sawa sawa. Now, so the question is for question number 2A, August 2023, question number 2A. August 2023, question number, it's supposed to be 2A. Hapa nilifanya makosa, it's supposed to be 2A. Now, so that's what I wanted you to see. Now, let us now start with the question. So we start with the balance at the beginning here. Now, tukienda kwa swali yetu, the balance at the end is on the debit side. Kumaanisha the balance at the beginning itakuwa on the debit, on the credit. So balance go down. Now this one is as at 30th June. Tunachukua hiyo ya mwisho 30th June. Hebu kama unaiona 30th June hapo chini. So kwa hiyo cash book kuna balance at the beginning and the balance at the end. So we have the balance at the beginning and the balance at the end. Now we need to reconcile the balance at the end. So we adjust the cash book by starting with the balance at the end. Now the balance at the beginning ukiangalia pale ni 1522. That is not our concern. We are interested with the balance at the end. Now the balance at the end is 1108. 1108. So your balance iko on the debit. So the balance at the end is on the debit. So kumaanisha the balance tukitaka reconcile itakuwa on the other side. So the balance carried down ni 1108. So the balance brought down itakuwa, so the balance carried down is 1108. The balance brought down itakuwa bado 1108. Now let us start adjusting. Let us start adjusting. Let us start adjusting. And remember here, we are supposed to start with the balance per cash book. Balance as per adjusted cash book. So for now, hatuna mpaka tupate the balance at the end. So for now, we don't have the balance at the end. So inabaki hivyo, tukipata tutaiweka. Once we correct the cash book, we shall put the balance here. But for now, we cannot put the balance there. Tuko sawa? Now, let's start with information number 1. A check received of 160 has been returned and paid. No adjustment has been made in the cash book. Now, the check, mlikuwa receive a check. So mlikuwa receive check. Hiyo check ilikuja ikabounce. So that one means it's a dishonored check. Ukiona ilikuja afu ikakuwa unpaid, kumaanisha check ilitumwa ikuja ilipe account yetu. But wakati ilifika hiyo check ni kama haikuwa na pesa, ikarudishwa, it was returned. Now the question is, when you receive a check, what happened to our cash? When you receive a check, nataka mjibu haraka haraka, tunasonga haraka. So to receive a check, what will happen to our account? Our account balance. So our cash balance ita increase ama ita reduce? Tutakuwa na pesa mingi ama kidogo?
Will increase.
So our check, to receive a check, we are supposed to record on this side so that pesa yetu increase. So remember, anything recorded on this side inafaa increase our balance. Any item recorded on the other side is supposed to reduce our balance. Now we were to receive a check of 160. Ikuja side it increase our balance. But hiyo check wakati ilikuja ikabounce. Now what do? Do we record on this side or on the other side? Because ilikuja ikabounce. Remember that was to be a dishonored check. So the check was supposed to increase our balance. But wakati ilikuja hiyo check baadaye bank wakasema hiyo check haina pesa, so ikarudishwa. Now where do you record it? So it was supposed to increase our balance, but ilikuja ikabounce. So kumaanisha it did not increase our balance, so it reduces our balance. So itakuwa on this side, dishonored check. $160. Tuko sawa hadi hapo? That is number 1. Number 2. Let's read number 2. Number 2 anasema, during the month of June 2023, a dividend. So remember, no adjustments was made on cash book. Now let's go to number 1. Let's go to this part 1 again. Wanasema no adjustment was made on cash book, and therefore you need to correct just the cash book. Ignore the bank reconciliation statement. So no adjustment was made on the cash book. Now we just need to adjust our cash book. Our bank statement tunachana, our reconciliation statement tunachana nayo. So we just correct our cash book because the adjustment was never made in the cash book. So we record the cash book. Number 2, during the month of June 2023, a dividend amount to 124,000 were credited directly into the bank account, but no entry has been made in the cash book. Now, dividend received. Now, when we credit our cash book, our cash book will increase. So when we credit our cash book, our cash book is supposed to increase. Our cash book is supposed to increase. Now, no entry was made in the cash book. So to receive dividends. Now, what happened when we receive a dividend? We really increase our cash or reduce our cash when we receive dividends as a company. So to receive dividends, is this supposed to increase our cash or reduce our cash? Hey,
Increase.
yes, about to increase our cash. So unakuja andika hapa dividends received. So no entry was made. So to receive dividends, but no entry was made. Ni ngapi? 120 124 bwana. Na mchangamuke bwana, msipochangamuka sasa. So tuna correct the adjusted cash book because no entry was made on the cash book. Next, a check drawn of 12,000 had been incorrectly entered as a check drawn of 12,000 had been incorrectly entered in the cash book as 132. Hiyo inamaanishaje? A check. Now, when you say a check drawn, what does it mean? A check drawn. What does it mean? A check drawn. Is that a payment? Now, when you say a check is drawn, kumaanisha we have instructed someone to be paid. So we had instructed someone to be paid. Kumaanisha hiyo pesa inatoka kwa account yetu. That money is moving out of our account. Now, lakini hapa anatuambia a check yenye tukofa kulipa, we are supposed to pay a check of 12,000. We are supposed to pay a check of 12,000. Lakini badala ya mwenye ananini aandike 12,000, so a check drawn for 12,000 has been incorrectly entered in the cash book. Now, for bank statement, this was the amount that was paid. So in the bank statement, they paid 12,000. Lakini wakati wanakuja kuirekodi kwa cash book, badala ya waandike 12,000, wakaandika 132. Wakaandika 132. So we were supposed to pay 12,000. We are supposed to pay 12,000. So we were supposed to pay 12,000. Lakini wakati walikuja kuirecord, walirecord kama 132. Walirecord kama 132. So how do we correct it? How do we correct that amount? Do we correct aje? Now what's the difference? Now the difference between the two are 132 minus 12. It is also 120. This is 120. Now we have overpaid by 120. Is that correct? Have we overpaid by 120 shillings? No, we are supposed to pay 12,000. No, 12,000 was correctly done in the bank statement. So bank statement iliweka vizuri. Lakini sisi tukuja kurekodi kwa cash book, badala ya turekodi 132 tukarekodi, but record 12 tukarekodi 132. Meaning tumerecord an overpayment of 120. Is that correct? We have overpaid by 120. Sivyo? Is that one correct?
Yes.
Now, if you have overpaid by this amount, how do we correct it in our cash book? How do we correct it in our cash book? Be now, if we were to pay, so like a check paid, one the correct amount. Let's put the correct amount, 12. We are supposed to put the 12 in our cash book. Is that one correct? So that tukiweka ID, it will reduce our balance. Because tunalipa 12. Is that one correct? So kwa cash book, kwa bank statement, it was correctly entered, but hapa it was wrongly entered. So kitu kwanza we record the 12. Then we have this overpayment. Now this overpayment itakuwa huku. Check. Which is overpayment. Overpayment. Which unajua ni ngapi? 132 minus 12. Itakuwa on the other side. It's supposed to be 120.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
See your check overpayment, how is it increasing our balance?
Already, okay, let us think together. So tulikuwa nafaa kureceive check, tulikuwa receive check kwa bank ya 12,000, sivyo? That one correct?
Yes.
Tuko sawa? Now kama tulikuwa tumereceive check ya 12,000, ni kumaanisha tukiweka, so to correct that amount vizuri hapa. Now check so sorry, not receiving, we are paying. We are paying. The check is supposed to pay. Sino kweli? We are paying. So kama tunalipa hii 12,000. The 12,000, is this supposed to reduce our balance or to increase our balance if you are paying it? Yes, if you are paying this amount, is this supposed to reduce our balance or increase our balance? Tukilipa kitu. So kama will it be correct tukiweka on this side the 12?
Si tunafaa kuweka hapo hivyo 120 ama
Hapa hivi on the debit or credit side?
On the credit side.
Aya, sasa hiyo tuko hiyo tumeagree hadi hapo, tuko sawa sivyo? Aya, and then we have this one. Now, remember we are supposed to record this item hapa. We are supposed to record how much? We are supposed to record how much hapa? 12. Sisi turekodi ngapi? So sisi tulikuwa tumerekodi ngapi? 130, 132. According to the information, sisi baada tu record 12 hapa kwa cash book, tu record ngapi? 132. Is that one correct?
Yeah.
Is that one correct? Now how do we do away with this amount? Tumeweka side vibaya. So we need to double check on the other side so that tukiweka hii 132 minus 12. So wa hii 12 tunatoa because already 12 ndio tumeiweka hapa. So ndio tunaiweka hapa. So kumaanisha tukitoa hapa already tumeiweka the other side. So huku inatoka. Then the 120 yenye imebaki, so 132 minus 20, it is already on the 132. So how do we correct it? So remember hii 12 already 133. So remember hii 132,000 yenye already walikuwa wamesha record. Remember for our initial, if you go to our initial cash book, if you just go to our initial cash book, wametuambia that this amount was badala wa record as 12, wa record as 132. Kumaanisha hapa tume overpay na 132. We are now supposed to overpay by 132,000. So how do we correct it? Hii amount tume overpay now, we put it to the other side so that it reduces that balance. Sijui kama mnanipata ama mimi ninaongea zangu. Nasema the correct payment is supposed to be 12. But initially, according to the question, initially ametuambia that they recorded, but our recorded 12 hapa walikuwa wamerecord 132. Now we need to correct this 132 irudi mpaka 12. And then tume correct ya kwanza. So tume reduce 132 mpaka 12. So meaning we have corrected this 12. But remember 132 is still on this side in our previous adjusted cash book. Now how do we remove it? By debiting the same amount on the other side so that it reduces that balance automatically. Are you getting me? Sasa inasema check overpayment. So overpayment ilikuwa on this side. So tutarudisha on the other side so that it cancels out the overpayment that was made on this side. So we need to cancel this overpayment that was made on this side with the other side so that it cancels out. So E120 cancels out now 120 that was recorded initially on this side. Tuko sawa? Sasa inaandika overpayment, check overpayment to cancel out. Are we okay?
Yes.
So that's what you need to think. Usipofikiria hivyo my friend, itakuramba in an exam. So remember you are correcting errors. So hapa tulikuwa tumefanya overpayment. So tulikuwa tumeweka an extra amount of 120. So remember we are supposed to record 12. Sisi tuka record 132 in our previous cash book. So kumaanisha out of that 132, the only correct amount is 12. 120 is incorrect. So how do we remove the 120 from this side? We debit on the other side so that it cancels out. So that's why nasema 120 on the other side. I think that one is well explained. Next, number 4. Number 4 anatuambia nini? The balance brought forward as per the cash book was overstated by 100. Now, hey, my friend. Now, kulikuwa na balance. Now, remember our balance is on the, so whoever pia kujiuliza, now our balance, this balance, hii balance yetu is on the credit side. Now, wamesema this balance was overstated by 100. Was overstated by the balances brought forward as per the cash book was overstated by 100,000. Now, this balance is on this side. Was overstated by 100,000. Now, how do we so kama ilikuwa overstated by 100,000? How do we correct that item? Do we put overstated amount up at 100 or on the other side 100?
On the debit side.
Yes. So tunaandika overstated. So hiyo balance umeelewa, hiyo najua umeelewa vizuri. So walikuwa overstate. So to correct it, tunaweka on the other side. So 100. That one is okay. Tuende next. Bank charges amounted to 72 appeared on the bank statement only. Kumaanisha if it appears, so the bank charges amount to 72 appeared on the bank statement only. Kumaanisha haiko appear in the cash book. Is that one correct? So how do we do? Now, what happened to our bank statement? Tulikuwa tumesema our bank statement is our expense. So an expense reduces. So our bank statement is an expense, or it's a payment. Now, what happened to our payment? Does payment increases our balance or reduces our balance, our cash balance, if we pay?
Increases.
Where? If you pay the bank charges, that's an expense to you. Unani kama unalipa. So kama ulikuwa na shilingi 10, ukalipa bank charges ya shilingi 2. Utabaki na shilingi ngapi? You had 10 shillings, ukalipa shilingi 2 as bank charge. Utabaki na pesa ngapi?
8 bob.
Yes, now ulikuwa na 272. So you have some balances. Remember, I want you to argue in this manner. Remember, in this situation, our balance is supposed to be on this side. Balance brought down, supposed to be on this side. But in this case, it's on this side. Much of this balance is a negative figure. Uko na deni, yani umefuriza. Ulikuwa na 100 kwa M-Pesa, for example. Alafu ukafuriza 200, ukafuriza 200. Kumaanisha ukatumia 100 yako na ukabaki na deni ya 100. So deni ya 100 kwako itakuwa ni balance on the credit side. So itakuwa on the debit. Now, but in Satu, either way, the analogy is the same. If you pay, you reduce your balance. If you receive, you increase your balance. So in this case, analipa. So kama analipa, we expect that itakuwa on the other side. So bank charges the payments. It reduces our cash balance to 272. So it's supposed to reduce our cash balance. Next, check drawn to 54,000 has not been presented. So this one is an presented check. So to go to the add, we're supposed to add unpresented check. So that is unpresented check. So anasema check drawn amount to 554,000 has not been presented to the bank payment. So that one is unpresented. It was not presented in the bank statement. So we present it now, 554. So that's an unpresented check. And then check received to 1524 has not been entered. Get to the word has not been entered. That is uncredited check. Has not been entered means uncredited. So less uncredited check. So we less uncredited check. So meaning is has not been entered 1524. 1524. 1524. So we need to less it. And then a check of 50 has been erroneously. So an erroneous check, tulikuwa tumesema that's an error. Erroneous check inakwanga on this side. Erroneous. That have been affect the bank statement. Erroneous check. So anasema a check of 50 has been erroneously been debited in the bank statement. Kama ilikuwa debited, ni kumaanisha ilikuwa increase our account. So ukiona the word debited kwa bank, ukiona the word debit kwa bank, ni kumaanisha ilikuwa imefanya nini? Ilikuwa increase our balances. Or ilikuwa imefanya nini? Has erroneously been debited in our bank statement. So we need to reduce it by that amount. So we need to reduce that amount. So we need to reduce that amount so that we have the balances as per bank statement. So ilikuwa tumepata pale juu. The balance of the bank statement iko pale juu kwa swali yetu. Let's go back to pale juu.
Umeruka additional
Information number
8.
Information number
8.
Information number 8 inasemaje?
A check for 54,000 shilling had been entered as a receipt in the cash book instead of a payment.
Or instead of a payment. Okay, so now what happened when you now remember a check totaling 54 has been entered as a receipt instead of payment. Now wewe ulikuwa unafaa hii 54,000 ilikuwa inafaa kukua, ulikuwa unafaa ku receive that income. Si ni kweli? You are supposed to reduce sorry, you are supposed to pay. You are supposed to pay. Is that one correct? You are supposed to pay, but wewe ukakuja kwa record huko kama receipts. Now, how do you correct it? Kitu ya kwanza, we need to remove the amount on this side. So tulikuwa tumerecord on the credit side as a receipt. But remember we are supposed to pay. So sisi tulikuwa supposed kuweka on this side as a payment, tukaweka side hii as a receipt. So kitu ya kwanza tunasema the error itself. So the check error ni 50. So ilikuwa side hii 54. So how do you correct it? Tumeipeleka side hii. Is that all correct? Kitu ya kwanza. So that it cancels. So tulikuwa tumeweka ku 54. So it cancel out kwanza. 54 it cancel out. Itoke side hii. Is that all correct? Then we do the check payment correctly. Check payment correctly as 54. Lisa ikuje correct. Is that all correct? Tukifanya hivyo. Is that all correct?
Mara mbili.
Nimeweka mara mbili kwa sababu wametuambia tulikuwa tunafaa kurecord this check as a payment. Si ni kweli? Nijibu haraka haraka ndio tusonge.
Yes.
Yes, tulikuwa tunafaa kuweka as a payment. Now, but asili kuja tuweke as a payment, tukiweka kama a receipt. So kumaanisha in our original cash book we are correcting, already this check ilikuwa side as a receipt 54. Si ni kweli?
Yeah.
So how do we correct it first? Kwanza we correct before that we get the correct payment. Before we put the correct payment, we correct it. So how do you correct the 54? We debit the same amount, so we credit the same amount on this side so that if 54 it cancel na ile 54 ilikuwa tumerecord on the receipt yenye ifai kuwa side ile. So it cancel out kwanza so that if 54 ya kwanza ina cancel out na the original one ndio itoke. Tuko sawa?
Yeah.
And this sasa tuweke the correct amount as 54. So we are supposed to put the double amount. Tuko sawa?
Yes.
Now find the balance. Sijui balance itakuwa on which side? I don't know.
Toa hizo zero.
Yes?
Toa hizo zero ziko hapo.
Oh, iko 54. And then turudi pale kwa swali pale juu, walituambia the bank statement of Maji Mazuri showed an overdraft of 23-24 while the bank balance as per cash book. So the balance as per bank statement ilikuwa 23-24. Na kumbuke ni minus, ametuambia ni overdraft 23-24. Remember it's an overdraft. So ni minus. Same hata ujue ni minus, ni vizuri tumeweka on the credit side. Tukiweka on the credit side na maana ni negative. But sasa hapa hatuna the T account. So kama nilikuwa na T account tungeweka on the side yenye ni negative. But because sasa ni item yetu iko tu hivi, we need to put it as negative figure because haiko kwa T account. But in this case kama ingekuwa on a T account kama hii, side ile tunajua ni negative figure, side hii balance ni positive figure. Now find the balance. So which one is bigger? So our balance is on this side. Balance carry down at the end. So give me that figure. That figure inakuja hapa and it must balance. So ukichukua hii figure, you umepata hapa, you add this one, you less this one, you less this one, you need to get 23-24. Ukipata 23-24 ujue we are tumeanguka. Now add this amount 1108 plus 160 plus 12 plus 272 plus 54 plus 54. How much? How much? Ngapi 16?
60.
1660. Aya. 1660 minus 100 minus 120 minus 124. Unapata ngapi?
Thirteen 16.
1316. 1316. Alafu 1316.
Yeah, 1316.
Na ukiweka hapa 1316. 1316 plus 554 minus 1524 minus 50. Unapata 2324.
Ni kama
Yes. Oh yeah, missing a calculator, so I cannot verify. Sina calculator, I cannot verify. So mnasema hapa mnapata ngapi? Mkoshe amount ni correct. Sina calculator my people, so
Hiyo amount ni correct.
this one ukiadd is not, it is correct. Nakuja 6. Yes.
Iko sawa.
Na hii amount na hii
Iko sawa pia.
tunakuja 13 16.
Yeah.
Na ukileta hapa what will be the final figure here? Kwa sababu lazima ikuje hiyo.
Inakuja to 96.
Nakuja
396.
To
396. 396 imetoka wapi tena? Oh, sorry, ukumbuke hii, sorry, ukumbuke hii, this balance on this side, carry down, ukumbuke ni negative. Ukumbuke ni negative. Tulikuwa tunasema kuambia that's a negative balance. So let me see wapi tumekosea. Kama niko na hiyo swali. Kwani kama nilikuwa nimeifanya.
Why is it negative?
Tumesema any balance iko on the credit side. The balance brought down on the credit side is a negative figure. So do we agree?
Yeah.
Yes. Now,
Yes.
so tumefanya our balance now. Tumefanya swali yetu tukafika mwisho tukapata our balance carried down is on the debit side. That one correct? Yes.
Yes.
Now, so the balance at the beginning of the next month, the coming month, itakuwa on the debit or on the credit side. So come July, the balance at the beginning, itakuwa on the debit or credit side. The balance brought down.
Debit.
Wewe unafaa kiboko. Let me show you.
2336.
23?
36.
2336. Mpaka 2336. So tunasema hapa umesema ni 16 60 na pia umesema ni 16 60. Now the balance in the next month, balance brought down itakuwa ngapi? 1316. We need to be on the debit side or on credit side kulingana na hii information nimeandika hapo. So the balance hapa itakuwa hapa at the beginning. Yes. Nani alikuwa anajibu? Who was that? Was it Hannah? Ilikuwa nani alikuwa anauliza? Sasa nakuuliza. Yes, so the balance carried down is on the debit side. The balance at the end is on the debit side. Now the balance at the beginning of the coming month, itakuwa on the debit side or on the credit side?
Inaona itakuwa on debit side.
Wewe nataka nikuje shule nikutafute nikupige viboko. Now, if the balance at the end is on the debit, the balance at the beginning will be on the credit side. You need to know that. If the balance at the end, for example, come up, the balance, let's go to our question. Let's go back just to our question. Now, ana kwa story yetu ukiangalia pale, open that question tukianza pale juu. Question 2A, hapo juu tukianza. We have been given the cash book. Look at the cash book balance. The balance at that is June 2023, 1108. Now, that was the balance carried down. That was the balance carried down, 1108. Angalia hapa. So that also on a credit balance. So the balance carried down was 1108, was on credit balance. Now tukikuja hapa, the balance, the next balance, the balance brought down, it will be on the debit 1108. So on the credit, yenye inaishia on the credit itakuwa brought down on the debit. And therefore this means the balance is a negative figure. Kwa sababu the balance at the end iko on the credit, iko on the debit side, the balance at the end iko on the credit side. Nikumaanisha the balance is a negative figure. Lakini kama hii balance ingekuwa on the debit side, huku ingemaanisha the balance is a positive figure. Now, I don't know why nyinyi mna confuse hii maneno. Now the balance brought down, balance carried down. All these two balance means they are positive. The balance at the beginning is positive and the balance at the end is positive. Now look at this. The balance at the beginning is on the other side, the negative. So kumaanisha the balance on the other side huku also is a negative figure. Na leo nasema inakuja hapa as a negative. Unaniget?
Yeah,
Eh,
nimekuget.
Sasa
Aya. Now, let us try to balance this account. Hebu tutoe hii amount hii. Maybe tuliweka vibaya. Hebu just balance without this check. Add all this amount without the check. Tuone which figure itakuja hapa. Add 1108. So chukua 1660 minus 12. Nakupea ngapi? Tuone if the issue is this check paid of 12. Kwa sababu naona hapa itakosa kubalance na 12 shillings. Nakupea ngapi? So 1108
ukitoa
plus
ina
160.
balance.
Eh?
Ndio
Ukitoa
ina
ina
balance
balance.
sasa.
Ati?
Ukitoa
23,
Nakupea ngapi? Nakupatia? Ai bana muongee bana
23,
mnalalamika ama
23, 23, 24.
Si hapo wewe.
mimi nasema tutoe hii check paid of 12 kwanza. Watu wana this check. Without this check kwanza. Hebu add this plus this plus this plus this nakupea ngapi?
1648.
Nakupatia 1648. Haya, balance hapa itakuwa ngapi?
$1304.
Hadi
1304.
hiyo 32 ifai kurekodiwa.
Hebu weka hapo 1304 tuone. Kwa hapa ni 1304.
Ina balance.
Ina balance.
Yeah.
Let's go back to our check ya 12. Iko wapi? Na wanasema a check of 12,000 has been incorrectly entered as 132. Sasa hapo ndio kuna shida. Has been incorrectly entered as 132. Now, hapa walikuja wakarekodi check ya 132. Let's do that analysis hapa. Weka cash book kadogo hapa so that tuone if it is making sense. We are not supposed to put this one item there. To cash book. Now, initially walikuwa wamerekodi 132. Is that one correct? Nataka tuanalyze hiyo kitu tujue pamoja. Is that one correct? Walikuwa wamerecord as 132.
Yes.
Now and then akatuambia hapo, akatuambia hivi. Imepotea tena hiyo swali. Aya. So a check drawn drawn for 12,000 has been correctly entered in the cash book as 132. Remember that when you say a check drawn is a payment. Now a check drawn is a payment. Now you are supposed to record it as 132, as 12. Now we are supposed to correct it as 12,000 in this side. Lakini sisi na kierere yetu bado pia tuweke 132, tuweke 12, tukaweka 132. Is that one correct? Now we need to correct that item. We need to correct that item. How do we correct that item? How do we correct that item? Now, tukisema if we say tukisema hivi, let us take the subject. Kwa sababu tumerecord as 132, kule tuweke huku 132. Let us put this 132,000 huku. So that this amount cancels with the original one. Itakuwa ina make sense? Itakuwa ina make sense? So hii 132 tulikuwa tumeweka huku, haifai kuwa 132. Inafaa kuwa 12. So hii 132 tumeweka huku tuweke side as 132. to cancel out, alafu tuweke hapa 12,000. Tutakuwa tumeongea ukweli? Tutakuwa tumeongea. Yes? Nataka mnijibu bwana. Unajua msiponijibu bwana, sasa mimi nitakuwa mnaniachia kazi yote nateseka bwana. Yes? That is one option. Nilikuwa tunawapea option. So nasema option 1 tulikuwa tunafaa kurecord 12,000 but sasa turecord 12,000 kuweka 132. So 132 tuliweka incorrectly. So tuweke hiyo 132. How do we correct it? Tuweke 132 on the other side so that it cancels out and then tuweke the correct amount hapa as 12. Kumaanisha tuweke hapa 12 ibaki 12 but hapa tuweke 132. Hiyo ina make sense. So kuliko hapa tuweke 132 minus 12 tuweke tu 132 venye iko. Ita balance. Hebu jaribu on your side. Jaribu on your side weka hapa hii 12 ibaki venye iko but sasa hapa uweke 132. Tuone kama itakubali kubalance. Another option ita balance. Another option we ignore. So we say no. So we ignore the 12,000. Tuseme 12,000 already iko 132. So to ignore kurecord hapa hiyo 12. So haitakuwa. So hii 12 haitakuwa. But kuja side hii, remember we had already tulikuwa tumesha record huku 132. Remember we had already in our previous cash book tulikuwa tumeshaika 132. Kumaanisha kwa hiyo 132 already 12 iko ndani. So tufanye hivi, tukuje side hii tuweke 132 lakini tutoe 12. Kwa sababu hiyo 12 already iko side hii. So yenye itabaki ni hiyo 120 yenye ni incorrect. Tuweke hapa 120 lakini hapa ibaki 0. Kwa sababu already tukitoa hiyo 12 kumaanisha 12 already iko hapa. Mnaonaje hivyo? So hapa tusiweke 12. So to assume 12 already iko kwa 132. But tukija on the other side, so kwa hiyo 12 kwa hiyo 132 tutoe 12 because already 12 tumesema iko hapa. So tutoe 12 so that to correct the 120 or alone. So that weke hapa 120 na hapa usiweke kitu. Is that one correct also? Yes?
Yes.
Aya, sasa umeona. So that one I think that the question is balanced. The question is balanced. So that's how you're supposed to do that question. Unajiuliza maswali. So wewe jiulize maswali. Hizo maswali unajiuliza, make sure unajijibu ukiwa in an exam room. So unajiuliza swali in an exam room. So unasoma swali yenye umeulizwa na examiner. Ukisoma hiyo swali umeulizwa na examiner, na wewe mwenyewe unaanza kujiuliza maswali kutokana na hizo maswali umeulizwa na examiner. Then unajijibu, ukishajijibu sasa ujibu the examiner. Uko sawa? Uko sawa hadi hapo my people? My people? Now assignment. Bado tujamaliza bank reconciliation, tutakuja kufanya swali lingine kesho. So when we meet tomorrow, mko mfanye swali. April 2023. April 2023. Question number 5A. So kindly make sure you do this question. It's a good question for you. So kindly do that question. So when we meet tomorrow, I want to see your answers. So when we meet tomorrow, I want to see your answers so that we can do another kind of a problem. So this problem is in our past paper. So kuna this past paper nilikuwa nimewatumia ya bank reconciliation statement. Do you still have it? Bank reconciliation statement.
Yes, we have. I have.
Past paper, sivyo?
Yeah.
Iko na hizo bank reconciliation. So there's a question there. Hiyo ndio tutakuja kufanya when we meet in our next class. So make sure you maintain that past paper. Ilikuwa nimepiga picha. So still make sure you are still having it. So when we meet, we shall come and continue with bank reconciliation statement so that tukimaliza tuingie accruals and prepayments. Accruals and prepayments. So remember, we need to finish accruals and prepayments before Friday. So we need to finish accruals and prepayments before Friday so that from next week, Monday, we shall be preparing statements. Statement of income statement, statement of financial position, and the cash flow statement where possible. So make sure
assignment.
Assignment hii hapa AP 2023 question number 5A. Unaiona?
5A sio. 5A nasema ni theory.
Sio hiyo 5A. Acha niwaangalilie, don't
5A ni
worry.
theory.
Kwa hiyo swali, which one is talking about the constitution statement? Bank reconciliation ama hakuna?
Hakuna.
Hizi ni maajabu ya Musa. Allah. Na kwani swali nilitoa wapi? Mnasema hakuna. Mmesema hakuna kabisa. Na kwani swali, where did I? Nimeipata. Go to the sitting of kumbe ni mbali hivyo, ni 5C. 5C, andika 5C. 5C, the question is for April 2022, question number 5A. 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 I think that one is all. Try that question. We shall come and perfect it in our next class. Sijui kama kuna mwenye ako na swali. We give room for questions. So anyone with a question? So question, any question? So no
April
question. So we put
2022 question 5A pia. Ndio.
5C. Brenda, unasema hujapata?
Iko
Yes, Brenda.
sawa, ulikuwa umeandika A na N. Iko sawa, ulikuwa umeandika A na N
Umepata?
theory.
So I think there is no any question. So we meet from that point tomorrow. So tomorrow also at from 8:30.
8:30.
Sawa.